It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You know, when I was much younger, I remember our elders always told us, be content with what you have. Don't look at what other people have. Don't compare yourself with other people. And really, if I think about some of the situations that I am aware of that have been caused by jealousy, I have to agree with some of those things that I was told. But then I also heard a phrase which I would like to get your opinion about. And that is, comparison is the thief of all joy. What's your opinion about that statement?
I mean, hearing that phrase from you took me down the memory lane as well.
Okay.
I remember growing up as a young girl in a family of 4 then. I'm the second child, but the first girl.
All right.
Amongst 3 boys. So I grew up more like a tomboy before my mom had my kid sister when I was 15. And I remember that my mom always believed that whatever a male child can do, a female child equally can do that. So she grew up sort of comparing me to my brothers in a positive light. I mean, she would say to me, Lara, your brothers just swept that place. You can sweep that portion better. So I would go and apply more energy to intensify the sweeping. And she'll come back and say, oh, your brother just did this, he did it better, but I trust you can equally do it better. So I would go, and I grew up sort of comparing myself to my brothers, believing that I can be better
Than them.
However, my mom, bless her memory, I love her so much. I'm sure she did that with the intent that I shouldn't feel I'm the only female child, but rather she compared me to my brothers to get me to give in my best. But the downside to that was I grew up comparing myself to my brothers subconsciously.
Okay.
Yes. But I realized growing up that it impacted my identity.
Oh.
Yes, it did. So I grew up believing, okay, I can be a boy. I can do better than a boy. Rather than identifying my own unique identity as a female child, appreciating my strengths, even though I'm not as muzzled up as the boys, appreciating myself and accepting myself. So that phrase, like you did mention, when we begin to compare ourselves to other people, it takes our identity away from us. So indeed, it does take the joy of having our own acceptance of ourselves. We give it away to someone else. In addition to that, it takes away our uniqueness. You know, understanding that I'm a female child, it's okay not to be as muzzled up, it's okay not to be able to sweep with intense energy like the boys. It's okay. You know, so it sort of took away my uniqueness, which I later found in life when I grew up, became a teenager and started accepting myself. Okay, it's okay, I'm not a boy, I'm not going to try to be a boy and all of that. It also takes away you sort of reflecting on what you have.
Yes, you see, I really wanted to bring this conversation into the space where you operate. As an HR expert, I can imagine that all the time you're dealing with people who want to improve on themselves, who want to be in a better position to serve and, of course, earn more money, etc., etc. But many of these people, I suspect, want that improvement because they've seen that others are improving. So rather than motivate themselves to elevate themselves, they're comparing themselves with the other people who are around them. How would you advise such people?
Okay, so if we take it to the workplace, comparison is actually a good thing in the workplace if applied in the right direction in terms of performance management processes. I mean, so we usually have groups of people performing the same task at work, and at the end of the day, you have to assess their performance on the job. So at some point, you would have to compare them to identify those that are top performers within that group of people and those that are sort of struggling that you can further help. So comparison in the positive light helps you to identify what you need to do better amongst one, your peers, and two, if you're aspiring for a bigger role, what are the requirements for that role? What do you need to do so that you can fit and qualify for that role? At that point, you can't compare. And if you look at it from the point of view of I need to improve in certain areas that I'm not strong at, then it is a positive thing. But if it's in the direction of, oh, this person has got this, I don't have it, that in that instance, it erodes you of your joy of accepting what you have, you need to improve upon to be at the next level. However, it shouldn't be used to smite other people. It shouldn't be used to relegate other people, but it should be used as a tool to enhance people so that they can be their best self.
One thing that I have noticed about us generally is that we don't know how to celebrate ourselves.
True.
But we are not running the same race. Absolutely. You and I, for instance, we are running different races, you know, and we're winning different laurels.
Absolutely.
Why then do we find it so difficult to celebrate ourselves?
So when we compare people, sometimes it attacks our mindfulness of ourselves. And what that does is when we shift our focus from what we have to what we don't have, when we shift our focus from what has left us rather than what we still have that we can be grateful for, it takes away that spirit of gratitude. You know, it takes away being in that sense of being grateful for the little that you have. Then I become envious of what you have, forgetting the fact that our journeys are different, like you rightly mentioned. So for me, it's about the focus and the intent to comparison. Are you comparing yourself to someone else to motivate yourself that, okay, I can equally do that in a positive direction. I mean, I can achieve that. If somebody has achieved it, I can achieve it. Or rather, you're looking at it in the negative sense and you're depressed, you're worried, I don't have this, I don't have this amount of clothes, I don't have this amount of friends, I don't. You know, so it does affect the focus of we human, and that way we don't appreciate ourselves enough. We are not grateful for life. I tell people, the fact that you're breathing means there's hope for a better tomorrow.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. And I think that would be a very, very positive note to end our conversation. If we stop comparing ourselves with others and rather we're grateful for what we have,
Absolutely.
Then there's always hope
Absolutely,
for a better tomorrow.
Yes, there is, ma'am.
Lara, thank you. Thank you so much.
I had a great time here.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.